didn't have that much to do. Didn't think I was going to do a video. Then I realised it's Black History Month. And I know for a fact the place that I used to teach is going to be contorting itself into the most peculiar of positions in order to justify why they shouldn't run anything specifically black for the kids. Entirely white leadership team, lily white leadership team, majority black kids, and unfortunately a lot of parents come from the I send you to school to learn retarded mentality, i.e. I'm putting you into this racist hellhole, now you better swim and come out like Martin Luther King, while being subjected to the most horrendous white supremacist propaganda. I think on the last assembly that I attended at the school, the deputy head of sixth form did an assembly on Oswald Mosley, not the Cable Street riots, not the heroes of the Cable Street riots, but Oswald Mosley. So, I mean, and I think that was for the benefit of the two white kids that were in sixth form. To tell you the truth, to tell you the 100% truth. So what I decided to do is I'm going to make a little Rolodex of people that I think you should listen to, and it's inspired by a line from Public Enemy that I heard when I was growing up. Farrakhan's a prophet that I think you want to listen to, right? And I was a kid. Public Enemy, Farrakhan, who? Farrakhan, who's Farrakhan? Farrakhan's a prophet. I think, what prophet? You're saying there's a prophet on this? Now, okay, I'm not a follower of the Nation of Islam. Neither am I. You have to understand, in the UK, we had all the information. So, yeah, I mean, we had the FBI recordings of them trying to set up Malcolm X, and if they did that with Malcolm X, they would have been doing that to other people. And you saw what happened to Malcolm X, right? I have to say that. So yeah, I mean, but you can't ignore the fact that the Nation of Islam has been extremely beneficial in creating social cohesion and a positive world's view of black manhood at that time for that specific era. Right now, I think it's all about the Hebrews, because that's the traceable identity that you can go back to. Although we were Moors, yeah, blah blah blah, but it's like we were several people coming through time. You can't just focus on one and say we're going to be the Moors, we're going to wear a fez on our head, because that was just one specific epoch of our existence and our national identity. But the one from the beginning, the one that was defined, would have been Hebrew. So that's me. That's why I have the signs that I have on the top of my screen and so forth. But inspired by the phrase Farrakhan's a prophet that I think you want to listen to, here are 10 black men that I think you could derive some benefit from, in terms of, now I probably have one negative thing to say about each one of them, except for the top, the three wise men. I haven't got anything to say about, and they're at the top. And I think the one rule about the three wise men is we don't talk about the three wise men. At the number 10 spot, coming in at number 10, is Neely Fuller Jr. Now, wow, just because Neely Fuller Jr. is at number 10, please do not mistake that for his ranking in terms of importance. There's a reason why I've got Neely Fuller Jr. at number 10, and I'll explain. When I first heard Neely Fuller Jr., I thought he was an old white guy from the South. I thought I stumbled across a white guy who was being honest, right? Come to find out, Neely Fuller's black. No, I mean he's up in age, man. He's still with us. He's in his 90s. The guy was born in 1929. We're in 2020 right now. Dude's still with us, but he might be a little bit much for a young person to sit down and listen to. Neely Fuller's like the dad, the strict dad you wish you always had, that you didn't really want, but you need, right? Yeah, man. So like, for some of you who've got like those like dad issues, it might be a bit difficult for you to listen to Neely Fuller, because it's like your dad talking to you. Now, that doesn't sound very constructive, boys. You want me to go somewhere with you and do what? it's like I'm sitting in my house going, I'm not doing anything, right? But he is the author of the United Independent Compensatory Code System and Concept. So you might have heard recently a lot of black people getting on code. And if you want to know what entails getting on code, I suggest you purchase the United Independent Compensatory Code System. And he's written a couple of other books. His terminology and fashion of English is now started to become buzzwords in the black community. I think getting on code for a start is one of the things that come through from Neely Fuller Jr. And another phrase that he uses is, if you do not understand white supremacy, racism, what it is, and how it works, everything that you understand will only confuse you. That's Neely Fuller Jr. And I've heard that uttered before. I've got Neely Fuller linked 50-50 with my man Hip Hop Cartoons. Right, so hold on. This is Neely Fuller. There's Neely Fuller, right? That's the guy we're talking about, okay? And but Neely Fuller, right, basically has been, if you ask me, he's been repackaged for the younger generation. Coming in at number 9, linked directly with Neely Fuller Jr., because he always turns Neely Fuller Jr.'s speeches into cartoons, is my man Carlito Way 44, right? Otherwise known as Hip Hop Cartoons. Carlito is the guy that goes around and he takes the things that are happening in the black community and pretty much superimposes his artistic talents on top of the audio, right? So the best way I've been hearing Neely Fuller recently has been through Carlito Way's hip hop cartoons. Just sensible things to tell your kids. Always leave a little bit early. Always leave the party a little bit early. Don't stay right to the end, to the dregs when the lights come on, because that's when the shit happens. Always leave just a little bit of a... Don't get into a car with people unless they're going somewhere constructive that's going to benefit you. Find out what it is, what the intention... Stupid shit that you want to tell your son. Okay, so you might recognize... some of you out there will start to recognize the imagery of Carlito Way 44. But let me just give you a little example. So this is Carlito 44 combined with Neely Fuller Jr., who I've got at the number 10. If you're up in age, I say go straight to the Neely Fuller Jr. If you're a young guy and you know that you're meant to be following this, I say check out Hip Hop Cartoons, because you'll get Neely Fuller Jr. with Hip Hop Cartoons. So, number 10, Neely Fuller Jr. Number 9, Carlito Way. And here's an example of both of them combined.
Homeboy comes by in his car and they say, hey man, get in. Let's go somewhere. Go somewhere and do what? Remember what I said earlier. All problems are solved through the process of questions and answers. So you ask that question. Go somewhere and do what? Well, you know, we're just chilling, man. Okay, it's 6 of you all in a car. 4 of you got guns. You want me to get in the car to go somewhere and chill. Well, this, fellas, your buddies of mine, does not look like it may have a constructive result.
I love Neely. See what I'm saying? Love Neely Fuller Jr., love Carlito Way 44. That's my number 10 spot, Neely Fuller Jr. Check out the numerous books that he's penned, because really good mental furniture. But then also, if you're looking to introduce these concepts to a younger person, then I would say go Carlito Way 44. And then, because you have the imagery and the kind of cartoon stuff, and he touches a lot on Boondocks. Okay, so you find out quite a bit about Boondocks through Carlito Way 44, but then you also find out what's happening on the street. The biggest thing that happens in the black community usually gets turned into some sort of animation by Carlito Way 44. So it's kind of like a righteous world star. Do you know what I mean? It's like a righteous... Carlito Way 44 is like a righteous world star hip-hop in animated form.
What is black people's priority as a rule? when you go among any black people right now, right where you are, right where I am, what is the black person's average priority, minute by minute?
Selling off.
I will answer according to what I have observed and what I am a part of myself, really. But I have made it a non-priority in the last 30 years. I mean, because it doesn't make sense. And it hurts me to have had that priority. And that is to, every day, wake up with one thing in mind. The average black person, if we'll tell the truth, do whatever it takes to impress another black person. Stop and think about what black people talk about, what they plan on doing. Hey, man, I'm going to have some time off this weekend, all right? Time off to do what?
Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Oh, I'm getting dented. I'm dead. I wasn't even meant to have it on that long. There you go. The perfect synergy there of the old and the young. Yeah, Dr. Neely Fuller coming in at number 10. Just because he's at number 10, please, that doesn't mean he's the 10th in number. It's just how I'm categorizing. I have to squeeze people in at a certain point. Everyone's on the same level. But Dr. Neely Fuller at number 10 and Carlito Way 44 at number 9, or otherwise known as Hip Hop Cartoons. Check them out. Ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 8, I've got Dr. Umar Johnson. And once again, just because he's coming in at number 8 does not diminish his importance in the slightest. Oh, can I just add as a caveat, every person that I'm about to show you has had a hateful, sustained, undermining campaign carried out and waged against them by COINTEL forces. Unfortunately, a lot of them are black. So when you do research into these individuals, you're going to see a lot of disparaging posts and a lot of negative posts made against them, because these are the guys doing something positive. Every negative post is made by an individual you would not care to follow and would be inconsequential to your life. I mean, you can go around looking at all the negativity if you want, but there's going to be one overriding characteristic of all of those negative comments, and that is they're not individuals that you would want to roll with in any way, shape, or form outside of this negative opinion. And also, a majority of them are coons. Straight off the bat, they're coons. They're mouthpieces for white supremacy, and if white supremacy sees black people doing anything positive, they'll go out of their way to help cool it down. So just bear that in mind with every individual that I mention. So Dr. Neely Fuller, we got Carlito Way 44 coming in at number 8. We have Dr. Umar Johnson, self-proclaimed Prince of Pan-Africanism. Sorry, the King Kong of consciousness. I've been following this guy for a minute, and because I was working in education, Dr. Umar is a certified child psychologist and has done a lot of work inside schools, and he's focused mainly on how the negative effects of society have impacted on black kids in an educational circumstance, and the negative effects that the societal racism is having on black kids in education. So Dr. Umar was one of the people that I gravitated to about 6-7 years ago. I think I'll do this first for you because there's going to be negatives about everyone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the negatives first before I go into each person. Right. So Dr. Umar had, from the time Dr. Umar started getting traction, you know, he's had the sisterhood come against him, and the sisterhood aren't representing black women. His sisterhood are a bunch of vicious attack dogs for white supremacy in blackface. He's been attacked by the sisterhood. He's been attacked and called a fraud by certain other people that I'm going to mention in this group. For those of you who didn't know, Dr. Umar claims to be a descendant of Fredrick Douglass. He's a descendant of that great man, and so he feels he's carrying on the good work, but yeah, he's and there's something that I'm going to talk about that I feel I should talk about if I'm going to mention all of these guys. Something weird coming out of America, and as a black man who's taking everybody, or I'm taking everyone with a pinch of salt as it is anyway, but I'm also giving these people my time because there's a struggle for liberation that's going on that I think all of these people are tapping into. Unfortunately, I think some people are tapping into the struggle purely for financial benefit. Some it's 50-50. Some they're 100% for the cause. The people that are number one are 100% for the cause. 100%. They're living. They're making their lives. They're presenting themselves as a living sacrifice. Right. So, if we take that as the shining example of number one, I don't think the truth is something that you need to pay for. We're starting to get into the cash app beggars. Okay, and would I call Dr. Umar a cash app beggar? I mean, other people could. Okay, so I'm going to mention him. But when I say cash app beggar, it's up to you whether or not you want to contribute money towards his grandiose schemes. I think his schemes were fantastic, and I'm going to give you a little example of Dr. Umar.
Now, what about the school that I know last time you came here, you were...
Fredrick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy.
FDMG.
FDMG. Well, through the grace of God, earlier this year, February the 7th, 7 days before Fredrick Douglass's birthday, we purchased not one school, but two. Wilmington, Delaware, we had a campus.
Well done, Dr. Umar. Well done. So for all of those people that were calling Dr. Umar a fraud, fuck you, man. Like, you disgusting examples of... I mean, I know a lot of them weren't black. They'll have black profiles. But all the black people that basically were calling down Dr. Umar on his struggle to purchase the property and the land, fuck you, man. Yeah, like I'm keeping. See, the thing is, I'm a bigger bitch than you know, because I'm keeping traces of all of the negative comments. I'm keeping the names from the people who keep coming up. I'm keeping a little black book of all of those names, because I doubt whether any of those names are actually black people. Some of them are, and if they are, oh, woe betide you in the day. But anyway, well done, Dr. Umar, on purchasing the land. Let's just hear a little bit more.
Island, if you would. So for me, I don't discriminate whether you a Spanish-speaking African, whether you a English-speaking African, whether you a blue, black, purple, nappy-headed African, whether you light-skinned African, we all one family. But for me, it's a two-question, it's a two-pronged test, Envy. Are you biologically African and are you psychologically African?
Whoa, see, there you go. Dr. Umar coming with it right there. So, see, there you go. I've got Dr. Umar coming at number 8. Congratulations on Dr. Umar purchasing the land for his school. Screw all of those people who were deriding him on his efforts, calling him a sham artist. And one of the people that was instrumental in calling him a fraud is actually on my list. As I said, I'm starting to look at some of the people suspect now. Some of the people, remember, I've got something negative to say about everybody, but I would still encourage you to go and check them out. Go and check out Dr. Umar, check out his work, check out their legacy, check out the content that he has provided to you, the public, for free, that you didn't have to charge for. He's not asking you to donate $4.99, right? You can go through all of his videos now and you will learn a lot of information from Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar at number 8. Coming in at number 7. And if you guys recognize his face, you recognize that face, you recognize that face. Right, coming in at number 7 is my man, Professor Griff. Yeah, Minister of Information from Public Enemy. Oh, yeah. So, right now, Professor Griff, he's got his own format on Facebook. And he's pretty much doing the same thing that a lot of other black guys are doing at the moment, only he's got his own, you know, he's got his wife Soleil and a very beautiful sister, and she's got her kind of mysticism that she pushes, and then, but he really pushes, he's not really pushing anything. I said no. Let me take that back. I'll take that back. I'll say he's not really pushing, I don't see Professor Griff pushing any sort of theological belief system. If anything, he's focusing on the negative things affecting black people at the moment, and the silent wars that are being waged against us. The brother's gone through a lot of shit revealing information, and when you tend to reveal the right information, negative things start to happen to you, like your house gets firebombed and stuff like that. Yeah, the brother's been through all of that, but if we're going to talk about legitimacy, so far, right, of all the other, I haven't got anything negative to say about Professor Griff. Who am I? I could never say anything negative about Professor Griff. I am a humble, I won't say student, but a listener, a devout listener, and so far, Professor Griff hasn't put a foot wrong. He hasn't done anything wrong or anything suspect that the black community can really level any heavy charges at. But he's always coming through with the decent information, and he's always got his live on. So if you want to know what's going on in terms of the psychological covert war on hip hop, for instance, that's one of his books. For goodness' sake, he's got a couple of others focusing around the music business. Check out the man, Professor Griff. What I should do is I'm going to play a little bit of Professor Griff.
All right, so yeah, the whole idea of the platform is to discuss issues so we can bring a deeper understanding, different perspectives coming together, different point of references, point of views, so we can kind of talk about it, and so we can kind of have some dialogue about it to come up with some solutions. I've heard all,
and that's true, and that's and you do get a lot of positive contributions coming from the audience of Professor Griff. It's not ghetto, it's straight black intelligence. And the funny thing is, as I get into number 6 now, isn't it really weird the amount of black intellectuals we're being introduced to now by the mainstream media? I'm feeding you black intellectuals that have been a mainstay of my intellectual furniture for the last 2 or 3 years. All of a sudden, we're getting these people springing out of places in the UK. We're down for the cause. Berets, black glasses, and everything. Right? At the end of the day, if I'm not here to call down anything, but I would say, judge your authenticity on the legacy of work. Judge the authenticity on the legacy of work. Okay, if they popped up the other day and they've only got 2 videos on YouTube, yeah, maybe that person hasn't really been down for the cause for a while. But if you can go onto YouTube and you can see they've been on this thing for the last 6, 7, 8 years, banging, putting out the same thing, that means the person's living they're living the life. Do you understand? They didn't just go, oh, I heard that apparently one can get quite notorious if one reps the black power. Oh, I'm going to do that now. Black power. Oh, there's a new person who's just come. Oh, and who are you? And oh, yes, I thought I'd be Black Power now. And yes, I'm going to use all of my friends from Cambridge and Oxford in order to follow. Oh, from Cambridge and Oxford, yes, oh, right. Meanwhile, there's people on the ground working away, and I know everybody I'm going to show you right now is American. I'm going to do this again for UK. Do you think there's no UK voices to listen to? But unfortunately, the Americans have the most sway. They do. I mean, I would like, it's a case where the Americans have more sway over what English people listen to, where really and truly English people speaking should have more sway over the English, and the Americans should be finding out what we're on. Do you know what I mean? But it's the black community, and we have to go where our strengths are. And sometimes, at the moment, the intellectual powerhouses of communication are coming out of America. They're not coming out of the UK. Don't show me some obscure columnist from The Guardian and go, oh, this person's an intellectual heavyweight. Really, are they? Well, where's their video that I can resonate with? Where's their stuff that everybody in the hood knows about? Oh, they don't. Oh, they don't. So who are you known amongst? Who are you an intellectual to? Who are the people who have deemed you as the intellectual? Are they black people that have deemed you as the intellectual? See? Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. See, there's a little bit of that about at the moment. A little bit of that about at the moment. So, yeah. Kevon Shah. He's got a history. He's got a legacy. He's done time. I'll say it again. Judge your authenticity by the legacy of the work. How much stuff have they done in the past? If they've just sprung out of nowhere and you can't find their shit on YouTube, well, that's because they've sprung out of nowhere and you can't find their shit on YouTube, right? You got someone going, oh yeah, I'm Black Power because apparently one can get quite famous being Black Power. I'm Black Power. Well, where were you 6 months ago? I was actually working in the city. Beware the bandwagon jumpers. Yeah, beware the bandwagon jumpers, because there are going to be a few. This shit's getting some traction. Kavon Shah, Professor Griff. Coming in at number 6. If you want your information hot off the press, you got the beautiful Ra Digga, right, who personally was one of my favourite female rappers growing up. Why she got her eyes closed? Oh, there she go. Right, Ra Digga's personally one of my favourite rappers, female rappers growing up. She was like a female Redman, right, if you ask me. And then we got Lord Jamar. You guys will know Lord Jamar from Vlad TV probably, and isn't it weird now that Lord Jamar to the younger guys is going to be known for Vlad TV, right? And isn't it weird after going on Vlad TV and giving Vlad TV that level of authenticity in the black community through your authenticity of black opinion, which is what he got you on there for, he's all of a sudden turned around and misquoted the Minister Farrakhan. Remember I started Farrakhan's prophet, he's misquoted the Minister Farrakhan. Now a lot of people are offended. They came back to Vlad, who's made his career in the black community, and said, Vlad, you offended the minister, can you apologise? And Vlad said, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And Vlad is not going to apologise. And so now Lord Jamal's on this whole cancel Vlad thing. But I have to say, I'm going to start with the negative first. You should have thought about that before. I mean, like, it's not like we didn't know. You didn't know this type of thing. Really? Are we starting from scratch again, Lord Jamal? We start from scratch? You didn't know he was going to... It's a snake. You take a snake, halfway across the river, the snake will bite you. You'll both drown. But I'm saving your life. The snake's going to say I'm a snake, and you're both going to drown. It's an old proverb. But that aside, I'm a little bit disappointed with Lord Jamal. Oh, and another reason why I'm a little bit disappointed, because now you have that with Vlad. But the other day you're coming out and you're going, well, out of respect for Ra Digga, you had NFAC on, but now you don't. And you told all of your listeners that you don't believe that NFAC is something that everyone should get down with and follow. The stupidest move you've done so far. Really, that's what stopped me from watching a few of the shows, because I'm like, damn, can't we just be a collective? We've got John Fitzgerald Johnson, right, leader of NFAC, Grandmaster J. Ra Digga gets Grandmaster J on Yanadamean Podcast, spreading the word. 5 minutes after he's gone, you've got Lord Jamar coming on making another statement about he can't speak for the credibility of the leader of NFAC. I don't know why he would do that, but anyway, now they're looking stupid because all the NFAC detractors are looking stupid because, let's face it, NFAC are making waves. They're costing people hundreds of millions of pounds in lost revenue, and then you've got people talking shit on the internet. But if you want your hip-hop news flavoured in a way, and it's a hip-hop delivery, Lord Jamar, and I still like Lord, don't get me wrong, I love Lord Jamar. I just thought he did a stupid move. Lord Jamar, Ra Digga, backed up with the man like Godfrey, right? And Godfrey's the new addition to the Yanadamean Podcast. So you got a Lord Jamar, you got Ra Digga, and then you got Godfrey. Those are the three from the Yanadamean Podcast. And, he always starts with some 5% unintelligible math, which isn't really math at all. It's some sort of all being born to God, that's born from born, that's not born to God, being born to... What, mate? I don't understand none of that shit, right? Don't understand none of that shit. Sorry, I use biblical wisdom. But, hey, if you're on that 5% of shit and you know what that is, you know what he's talking about, he's right there for you. A lot of good information. I have a lot of good fun listening to the news coming from, you know what I mean? And if you don't know what's going on in the street, and then also Godfrey is a beast for impressions as well. So this is entertainment, 100% entertainment, rather than a specific spiritual outlet for information. This is entertainment. So coming in at number 6, you know what I mean, Godcast. Ladies and gentlemen, at number 5, we have the mixed slider, the cupcake, the lip gloss expert, Tariq Nasheed. Now, I'll say that because I followed Tariq Nasheed for years. Tariq's a funny guy, okay? But Tariq's living in a massive glass house and he's throwing some stones around. But if you want information on all the stuff that's going on, he's a funny guy to listen to. I can't lie. Tariq Nasheed cracks me up, yeah? But right now we're getting to that time about your lanes, right? Which lane are you in? Which lane are you in? And are you moving on to the wrong lane? Now, Tariq Nasheed's lane is information and entertainment. It's information and entertainment. Okay, he's a funny brother. Don't get me wrong. And if you want to know what's going on, and you want the intellectual world star hip hop for your brain, I wouldn't even say intellectual. A couple of rungs up from ghetto. I'm going to put Tariq Nasheed on the same category or on the same level as Tommy Sotomayor, right? So if you don't know who Tommy Sotomayor is, yeah, I'm doing that. It's exactly what I'm doing, right? That's exactly what I'm doing. Right, so I am now placing Tariq Nasheed on the same level as Tommy Sotomayor. Now, I had Tommy Sotomayor fairly high years ago, but then Tommy Sotomayor, in reaching for his crossover acclaim, he started entertaining white supremacists. Tommy Sotomayor made his name pretty much by abusing black women. Or when I say abusing black women, there was a time where black women were acting out of pocket in the late 80s and 90s and the 2000s. Yeah, I'm old enough to remember Sally Jesse Raphael, Ricky Lake, Dr. Phil, all of these shows, Oprah Winfrey. I Can't Get a Good Black Man. Remember when black men were thrown under the bus? And I'm an independent, strong black woman who don't need no man. Tommy Sotomayor was the antidote to that bullshit. And he came and he filled the hole. He filled the hole that was needed. Unfortunately, he took it in a direction that a lot of people, a direction which a lot of people couldn't follow, to the point where a lot of the people in his lists were, I'd say, white supremacists at a certain point, right? However, having said that, you'll say, how can you put Tommy Sotomayor on the same level as Tariq Nasheed? I'll tell you how, right? Because Tariq Nasheed was giving out information, but after a while you stop and you start looking at brothers and say, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Always hitting the cash up. The Melanoid Ministries. That's like the church build fund. That's always going. There's no end to that. You're just giving to give. Melanoid Ministries is his rent. Okay? Melanoid Ministries is his rent. Okay? Am I calling the brother down? No, because everyone's got to have a hustle. Everyone's got to have a hustle. And if your black community is the hustle, say your black community is the hustle, and don't try to come holier than thou. If the black community is your hustle and you make money, stay in your lane as entertainment, and we got no problem with you. But when the number two guy comes along, and everyone's feeling the number two guy, you're not the number two guy. And then you start calling down the number two guy and calling them fraud. Tariq Nasheed has called Umar Johnson a fraud. Tariq Nasheed has ambushed Tommy Sotomayor. Tariq Nasheed has created his own organization called Foundational Black American, which took all the impetus away from ADOS, which was an organization created by these two called Yvette and Tony. Okay, and Yvette and Tony, they were responsible for the creation of something called ADOS. Tariq Nasheed pretty much stole their movement and then ridiculed them to the point where, if you don't know who Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks are,
So fucking tired of this shit. Fuck this shit. Stupid motherfucker.
he's ruining them.
Fucking tired of this shit. Don't let me kill all you motherfuckers. Come on to me, motherfucker.
See, that is Tariq Nasheed's handiwork, right? So at a certain point, you've got two people trying to do the right thing, and then along comes Tariq Nasheed and destroys it. What's the definition of an agent? It's a person that causes division, right? Tommy Sotomayor made his own bed, but Tommy Sotomayor is a voice, okay? And can you derive benefit from listening to Tommy Sotomayor? Yeah, you can. Is he going to turn a lot of people off? Yes, he is. By the same token, Tariq Nasheed, right? Can you derive benefit from listening to Tariq Nasheed? Yeah, you can. Is he going to piss a lot of people off? Yeah, he is. Is he entertainment? Yes, he is. Is Tommy entertainment? Yes, they are. The moment Tariq left his lane of entertainment and came against NFAC mate. That's that. Now I have to start looking at all the other out-of-pocket stuff that Tariq Nasheed has done. Is Tariq Nasheed fun to listen to? Yes, he is. Is he a funny guy? Yes, he is. But remember, I take everyone with a pinch of salt. Tariq's come against Yvette and Tony. Tariq's come against Tommy Sotomayor. Tariq's come against Umar Johnson. If you go find one of the biggest videos of Tariq Nasheed is Umar Johnson is a fraud. Tariq Nasheed's come out of his mouth against NFAC. Tell me I'm lying. Yvette and Tony. Yeah? NFAC. Umar Johnson. Tommy Sotomayor. Yeah? And probably someone else. There's probably 5 people that he's come against. And all because they're on their way up and they're getting a piece of the black pie. Is Tariq Nasheed fun to listen to? Yes. Is he someone that you should put all your eggs, whose basket you should put all your eggs in? Nah. No. Because you can go back and you can find Tariq Nasheed being a pimp for congressmen. Oh, a metaphorical pimp. But he's dressed in all the outfit, cooning. Okay, now you can go back and I'm humble enough with the stuff that I've done in the past where I say I was a coon. I was a coon. But I'll tell you that. I'll say that. I won't be a coon in the back and go, oh, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. Yeah, I've done coonish shit before in the past. I'm not proud of it, but part of being accepted into the new reality is to accept the part you played in your olds, right? If you want to be accepted in the new reality, you have to accept the part you played in the old, right? And I was a coon, right? Tariq was a coon. But I think he's found that there's a nice, juicy financial vein in doing the right thing by black people. And it's a bit difficult because on certain circumstances, he's doing the right thing by black people. And he's advertising black products. And but mate, Ogun juice? Ogun juice? There's 1 or 2 Nigerians that take that shit seriously. Ogun juice? That's like Jesus in a bottle. Right? That's like Khalid Muhammad spray. Fuck you up, man. Yeah, I got some of that Khalid Muhammad spray, yeah? Right? Really? Really? See what I'm saying? Right? And Ogun, right? The powerful God. And you're going to use it as a spray. That's like Jesus spray to fuck someone up. Okay, oh no, but Ogun was a god of war. One could argue, yeah, that's the god of war, but yeah, you're still financially profiting off a deity, aren't you? Are you not? You see what I'm saying, right? If it's not, and who am I? And it's quite easy for me to go there. Coming in at number 4. Just to cleanse the palate a little bit after that. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I suggest you go out and look at everybody that I've mentioned, but coming in at number 4, very strong contribution by something that really a thing I never thought I was supposed to be getting with, because I'm with number 1. I didn't think I was meant to be listening to this, but a young brother who keeps bringing a lot of information and who basically introduced me to Professor Griff in his new incarnation is as Sirius Minds. Professor Griff is also Sirius Minds. Black Magic 363. This guy here, this young brother from New York, Black Magic 363, basically I used to listen to him on my headphones when I was like cycling to work and back, and he'd always have these guys I never knew before who were kind of like on the same tip as Lord Jamar, Blue Pill, Red Pill, and Black Dot, and all of these guys, and they're on a kind of spiritual kind of thing that I'm not really down with. But it does resonate with some people. Some people like some people like it. Some people understand where they're coming from. That's what we were talking about, all the chakras and the pineal glands, and I don't know, all the type of your kundalini rising and all that stuff. Okay, I'm not versed in any of that at all. But you know, if you, I suppose, I don't know, if they deal with yoga and stuff like that. I don't know. However, off the back of all the other, I mean, they do introduce a lot of kind of spiritual stuff that's not biblical. But that doesn't, I'm not cursing it in any way, shape, or form. I've derived a lot of information from this young guy's channel, Black Magic 363, especially with a lot of the interviews that he was doing, especially with the interviews with Professor Griff. I mean, pretty much, that's, if you ask me, that's what springboarded Professor Griff to go solo and do the solo thing, all the interviews off the back of Black Magic 363. You can go through, it opens your mind to a lot of consciousness that you didn't think black people were involved in. But does it open your mind? Yeah. Is it on the right type of moral path? 100%, yes it is. Is it black, like concentrated, like Marmite? Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, man. So, can't speak highly enough of this guy. And I don't know his name, but because I never heard his name, I don't know his name. Is it KT, the Arch Degree? Is that it? I don't know. That's one of the guys he chats to. He also talks to Dame Dash. He talks to Blue Pill. He talks to 19 Keys. Talks to Red Pill. Mama Pill? I've never seen Mama Pill before. All right. KT, the Arch Degree there. Brother Ben X, Minister Ben X, from The Nation. You get a lot of good stuff. Brother Panic. Yeah, I call the guy Black Magic 363 anyway. So anyway, check out the guy Black Magic 363. That's a very strong contributor for consciousness, coming in at number 4. All right, yeah, I can't really show you too many of the interviews, but here's this is his page here on YouTube. Please support the channel and independent. All right, Black Magic 363, 28.4. Was that 284? Good. 284,000. That's about right. That should be more than that, actually. 284,000 subscribers. Check the brother out, man. He's got some very good info, really good interviews on this channel. Look, there's all the Professor Griff stuff from months ago. But yeah. Oh, I didn't think. Oh, I'm gonna have to do it. It's true. It's true. Coming in at number 3 is your man Roland Martin. Okay, let me qualify this, because a lot of people are going to be going, what? Right, okay. Let me qualify. I have to qualify. Just because Roland Martin's at number 3 doesn't mean that I put Roland Martin high up there in spiritual esteem. No. That's not why I put Roland Martin. You have to understand, Roland Martin is entry level, right? Roland Martin is for like your mum and your dad. What's all this nonsense that you're into? What is this extremist nonsense? Right? Give them Roland Martin, yeah, and your mum and dad will start to go, well, yeah, he's got some valid points, of which more concentrated a bit further down are the other guys that I showed you. Right. Roland Martin, Mr. Little bit of a speech impediment, Mr. Let me start off with the negatives. He's that mainstream media endorsed black mouthpiece that went through the coon experience of being used and discarded, and has now reinvented himself on his own platform that he owns himself, being a shining example of independent, business entrepreneurship, owning all of his own stuff, owning the catalogue of work that he's doing. Remember what I said earlier on, judge a person's authenticity on the catalogue of their work, and Roland Martin has got a catalogue of work. Are there things that I disagree with Roland Martin on? Yeah, there are. There are loads of things that I disagree with. However, Roland Martin tries to keep it black, right? But Roland Martin comes from this whole fraternity, Greek fraternity nonsense they have in America. Their sub-Illuminati-esque type of secret society, fraternities from unis. So he knows about Kappa Phi, Gamma, Sigma Phi Pi, and all that. All the Prince Hall Masons, he'll know those guys. It's the black intelligentsia flirting with the lower end of the white Illuminati power structure. That's where Roland Martin fits in, if you ask me. That's why Roland Martin is an interesting prospect to listen to, because you're hearing, whether he says he's independent or not, what this man thinks the acceptable delivery for news that white America will also take into account. I mean, he does it for black people, but you cannot tell me Roland Martin doesn't have an open door policy for all cultures to come and listen to, which is why I put Roland Martin at number 3. Now, Roland Martin does pride himself on coming like a professional show. Not like a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber. I mean, I might create some sort of intro and everything, but Roland Martin has grandiose expectations for the internet. He calls himself a show. He's a proper show. And he does come in for a lot of stick from some of the more militant brothers, the more militant mouthpieces. But yeah, no, I've got Roland Martin at number 3 because I'll tell you why. Because another thing, considering some of the people that I've shown you are individuals that, let's say, my manager wouldn't listen to. I posted a Roland Martin video some time ago, and my manager was on there. My former manager was on there going, "Oh, I like this guy. He's got really," and I was like, "Wow, I've got my manager. I've somehow dragged my manager into black politics, something that probably he did his best to keep away from." And yeah, Roland Martin can start to drag you down the slippery slope into black consciousness. That's why I got Roland Martin there at number 3. Coming in at number 2 of guys that I'm listening to that I think you could derive some benefit of listening to in 2020, 2021 is the NFAC leader, Grandmaster Jay. A charismatic, cult-like leader of the shadowy NFAC who say they are there to protect the black people. Right, NFAC's been getting a little bit of notoriety recently, and their leader, Grandmaster Jay, I've been listening to on a regular basis for like the last couple of months. Always starts off his video with something authentically black. Right, you can't, it's just like starts off with something black, okay? And he's got 2 shows that I've been watching, which are The Morning Mentals and Facts Over Feelings. So his Morning Mentals, usually I get at about Morning Mentals, I usually get those at about 3-4 in the afternoon, because he's like 6 hours behind me. So 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon I get the Morning Mentals, and then maybe in the evenings I definitely get the Facts Over Feelings in the evening. I try to catch them live when I can, and it's basically, it's code. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. If you want to know how to behave, if you don't want to be a nigger, okay, and you want some structure, okay, for ways to think. Obviously, wow, if you got some structure, wow, we got our man Neely Fuller there at number 10. But right now, but remember what I said about Neely Fuller, it might be a little bit harder for some of the younger people to digest. Not with Grandmaster Jay. Grandmaster Jay is like your dad sat over there now, right? Not the dad you wish you always had, and the one that you want. Motherfuckers on the chair there, yeah. One arrives. Are we gonna cruise? Anyways, yeah. Thugs on a plane. Oh, I've been taking it in. It's been beautiful, right? And you like when you hear a black man speak with power, yeah, you get goosebumps, yeah, because you know it's you know you're hearing the right thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not a simpleton who will turn my head to every talker. As I told you, I take every speaker with a pinch of salt, but I put Grandmaster Jay at number 2 because Grandmaster Jay, in fact, deserves to be at a number 2 ranking, and I mean that in number 2. Whereas Roland Martin is at number 3 for other things, not necessarily the spiritual things that'll get him to the number 2 position, like Grandmaster Jay. But Grandmaster Jay, if you want the code of Neely Fuller, if you want the spiritualism of the number 1, okay, and if you want the keeping up with the times of 76543, okay, because this guy's dealing with the times. I wanted to say he's not mink sliding around the issue. Oh, did I just do that? I'm sorry. And I'm sorry. Yeah, do you see how easy it is to get drawn into this shit, man? Look, at the number 2, deserving to be number 2, is that I suggest you go out and have a listen to. Grandmaster Jay. And once again, remember, we start with the negatives. When I was teaching and I was doing a little bit of politics with my students at school, I was tunnel visioned on Hillary Trump. And my kids kept saying, "Who's the black guy?" Oh, we talk, what black guy? What black guy? Who's the black guy that's running? I could see there's one humongous black guy. And early on in the primaries, some huge big black guy. They said, "There's a black guy running." I was like, "That's the black guy?" No, it was this other guy, otherwise known as Grandmaster Jay, and he ran, but no one paid any attention. So, yeah, I saw the video at the time when he was in the town hall meeting. He said, "All lives matter," and I was like, moving on. Yeah. I did that. And, then another video surfaced of him sitting behind Donald Trump. And it did look suspicious. It did. I'll say it did, because when Donald Trump was turning around saying, "Is there anything going on?" He was like going, no, nothing's going on. Right, i.e., just carry on. Don't pay attention to the people up there, because there's black people up there that was causing noise. But then when you found out he was a presidential candidate, and look, it sounds so stupid to say he was doing security for a presidential candidate. He was a presidential candidate. If it's anything like the UK, like you have secret services or your security, not ragtag, not private. They would use the infrastructure, the national infrastructure, the security forces of the nation is your security, not Grandmaster Jay. So, yeah, when I found out that he went up there to make sure that they got escorted off, they didn't get their hands put on by the racist people at the time, because he went there to see whether or not black people were getting thrown out, as was reported, the penny suddenly dropped. Then he made a video afterwards letting everybody know what he was doing, because every time you see a black face behind Trump, you're like, who's that now? Can I put out the hit? Is there a number where I can put out the hit? So he did make a video clarifying why he was sitting behind Grandmaster. So anyone who spends 30, I'm in the UK and I can research this shit. A lot of people are eating off the fat. A lot of know-nothing Negroes who couldn't reveal anything, right, are coming as though they are some sort of genius investigative journalist who can now say, he's an agent. What do agents bring? What do agents bring? Division. Agents bring division. Yeah, they don't bring unity. They don't make you go out and get your gun licenses. They don't put you in formations. Okay, and no, nobody shot themselves at the last formation. I see this black scout guy like they did it again. No, they didn't. See, and here's another thing. If you're an American, you should know we had this in the UK. There was a time in Tottenham where we had the West Indian Cultural Centre, and it was a very, very well-placed, nice, structured building, and every time we tried to do something positive there, every time we tried to do an event there that brought the entire community together, all of a sudden some idiot would be across the road or somewhere shooting up, and everyone would leave and go home, and it would mess up the economy. All 10, 15 years later, now we now found out that the local police didn't want any black unity going off, anything stable going off, and they would pay a nigger to come into the area and just go bat, 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 and just ruin everything. It's a tactic. So it happened at the first formation when Jay told everybody to get out by sundown, and then some people didn't get out, and then there was a shooting which was unconnected to NFAC. Wow. Number one. Set up. Then you got number two, where someone had passed out and they had a shotgun and it went off into the ground and something. That person's suspect. I would have said that person's suspect. What you know? I mean, if you didn't know what it is, you know what this is. I mean, how seriously was that individual taking it? Because if I had the opportunity to be over there and be in that formation, like, what you think I'm passing out? I'll be on the Pro Plus. I'll be on the whatever amphetamine I need to be on to keep myself up. I'm not going and falling out and dropping my gun so I can shoot someone. And even if I did feel lightheaded, I'll tell the person next to me, "Bruv, I'm feeling a bit lightheaded. Hold this for me. I think I'm going to collapse." I'm not just going to drop. The person who did that, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's your guys out there, but you got someone collapsing and dropping their gun, really? And I mean, how seriously how seriously was that person taking it? I have to question that person. Then third, and that's just me. If you guys know who it is and they're okay, cool. Okay, you know who it is and they're okay. But me, I would question that person. What the fuck? Get the fuck out of here with your weak self. That's what I would say. Then third, we have the one that just happened in Louisville when they were all, once again, probably authorities paid some nigger set off a gun in the park where they were going to meet, and they went up there anyway. And now you got Black Scout Revival again. Well, guys, they did it again. Okay, good. Be like that. I'm glad that they're like that because, I mean, really, do you really want white society taking you seriously right now anyway? Do you? No, you don't. You want them to think that you're a joke. You do. Strategically, it works better for you if they think you're a joke. Right up until the point where they're blindsided. Right? Right? So, strategically, that works for you. Right? So, don't get pissed off when you got these people on the internet going, these black militiamen, they're not really a militia, they're a group of guys that get together and with guns, like what? Like your good old boys. They're shooting up the place and dragging people to death behind their trucks. Like that type of militia. Fuck out of here. Right? So, once again, with the black guys, you're going to get detractors. But, let's hear a little bit of the Grandmaster Jay, shall we?
And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna be a little transparent. Y'all gotta appreciate your bro, right? It's your big bro talking to you. I used to actually think that a friend of mine was a little over the top, a little bit extra, because we would be out together. And y'all know the police don't like to pull me over. Anyone who's been watching my videos for a while, you've actually seen me get pulled over by the police and they realize who it is and they get the hell on. Y'all seen that. Y'all done seen me try to get pulled over by the police with a Doberman Pinscher with the top down. Remember that? And couldn't get pulled over. Y'all remember cause I wear a body cam. They got a body cam. Hey, where you going? Come on. I want to be harassed. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember the time that I pulled myself over just so I could be safe, and the police officer pulled up and tried to act like it was a traffic stop, and I had to check him like, no, motherfucker, you didn't pull me over. I was already here. If you don't go ahead with that bullshit, remember I drove the fuck off. Am I being detained? No, drove off. You're never going to get used to seeing this stuff. So stop acting like you are. And the day that you do get used to seeing this, when it no longer bothers you, that's when we're in trouble.
Right. See what I'm saying? Okay. Right now, it's hard to fault Grandmaster Jay. Grandmaster Jay's actually doing something. Grandmaster Jay's out there in the field, and Tariq's been talking shit about him. I think Tariq stopped talking shit about him now, and I think he's fallen back into his lane. But once again, I have to really look at the people that start talking down the people that come along doing positive things for the black community. But remember, take everybody in. Take them all in. You got to take them all in. Number 2, Grandmaster J of NFAC. Coming in at number 1. The people that showed me the way. I don't care what you say. Number 1 will be, how can I put this? The 3 wise men. Alright? The 3 wise men. When the 3 wise men came to me with the truth, after watching a few of their videos, I had to run to the window and look out the window to see if there were any helicopters above. I'd never heard this stuff before in my life. When I was young, right, there was legend, right, of these people that used to stand on the street corner in America, and they would curse white people out to their faces and call them the devil. What? Yeah, man. Like they'd be pointing at them and be like, "What?" No, and in the UK, we couldn't conceive of such action. No way. I mean, somewhere where I used to live in Tottenham, we used to have the National Front. Used to stand out there in the same manner that Hebrew Israelite camp does. National Front used to be out there in the 70s and the 80s. So I grew up with that level of repression. So, there was one time I went to New York in the 90s and I saw this camp on the corner of Fashion Avenue. On the corner of Fashion Avenue, 7th Fashion Avenue and 30, I can't remember, whatever. And yeah, they were talking Bible, but I'd never heard Bible like this before in my life. The Bible in the UK is, and God said that if one is good, one shall. It's like that. It's like dead, right? But then I hear these guys screaming out. I'm hearing 1 Corinthians. I'm hearing Thessalonians. I'm like, what are all these Ecclesiasticus? I know Ecclesiasticus, right? And what? Stuck with me. Then, when I was doing the music thing and I was 100% coon in the drum and bass world, one of my friends came back from New York and he told me that he'd been cursed out by the Hebrew Israelites. Tall white guy, and He said he was walking past the corner there on the corner of 7th Fashion Avenue, and they were pointing at him, going, he's the devil. The devil doesn't. The devil steals. The devil sees what you create, and he steals. And she said, and I feel really bad about doing this music with you now because, like, you know, he was telling me that I'm a devil. And I was like, what? Who are these people? At the time, I thought this is outrageous. I mean, aren't we in post Martin Luther King? Doesn't every man love each other? Isn't every man my brother? Yeah. I was a coon. And then I came across the camp known as the Greatmillstone. The Three Wise Men. And I'm not going to talk about the Three Wise Men because, once again, here comes my adage. I've changed the phrase about 7 times. Judge the authenticity by the works, man. By the history of the works. Yeah. And these guys have been on this since their beards were black, before their beards were grey. And they've been on the same word now. There are other various groups that I think you could listen to. Absolutely. There are younger camps that I think you could listen. But you've got to be very careful on this one because with the truth is really destroying the Christian church at the moment. Because now everyone's starting to see the Christian church as a lie. Understanding who you are, who your national identity is, really helped me understand why racism was happening to me, why I was under threat, why these things happen to me, why when I do good things for the community or I do good things in the wider world, people come and destroy it, or people come to undermine me, or people come to talk to the people that have derived positivity from my works, and then they undermine me. Well, the people that helped me understand all of that, the people who helped me understand racism, Tahar, Araim Lab, and Gabar, who's just over on the right. Tahar, Gabar, and Araim Lab, the Three Wise Men of the camp of Greatmillstone. I owe them my intelligence. All of the catalogue of books that I've gone through, 30, 40, 50 odd black history books, the catalogue, there's Gabar there, the history books are from the history of the Native Americans, James Adair, Rudolph R. Windsor, Stanley Lane Poole, and Dr. Ben, Ivan Van Sertima, all of these authors I was inspired to read because of these three wise men there. Those are the three wise men as far as I'm concerned. The fact that I'm not a coon, I owe to those guys. Now, if there's someone that can bring you to the light that is not these guys, please let me know. I know other people say Nation of Islam, right? Other people have used the nation, but some of them say Elijah Muhammad, and some of them say Farrakhan, and blah blah blah. But remember, we're at a generation where we've never had so much information at our fingertips. So, if you want to trace lineages, if you want to trace the history of Islam, right? If you want to know how long something existed for, if you want to know how long these guys have been pushing their thing for, it's embarrassing when you find out the lineage and then you didn't know how long this thing has been going for, but obviously it's been wiped out. What flag am I using? What flag am I using here? What flag is this? We don't know. It's the flag of Biafra, right? The flag of Biafra, West Africa, right? It's been absorbed by Nigeria at the moment, but that's the flag of my homelands. Before we got on the ship, came here, that's the flag of my homelands, right there. This flag here, right? If you didn't know, and you see what's in the middle of that flag, right? You see what's in the middle of the flag. You see that there. I am nothing ish. We are nothing ish. We are nothing ish. We are nothing ish. Okay, get that through your head. Stop being simplistic. Do you think you're? No, I don't think I'm anything ish. No, right? So, I'm not leaving you anywhere to go. No wriggle room there. I am nothing ish. I'm not claiming to be anything ish. Okay, and I think for those who have ears, that's all I need to say. But yeah, the thing that made me the inspiration behind my devouring of I don't really want to lie, but tens of tens and tens, maybe even hundreds of books and web pages and resources and information, so I know 100% comes from these guys. Oh, just as a little caveat before I go, the deep spirit, certain things were revealed to me by Greatmillstone and Grandmaster J that in all of your life going to church you will never encounter, and one of them I made a video about, which was, I called it Biblical Jewels, dropped right from Grandmaster J. That was the other one, and that was one of them, where you can see the number, or the God written in the words, and that's how you know God's written in the words, and it helps put your soul at ease. Should I believe? Do I 100% believe this? So, and it just puts a cap on your soul. You can just go, and lie back and go, it's the truth. I mean, like, I'm sensible and intelligent enough to do research and believe what my eyes see, not what I've been told. And my eyes see something where I can actually believe the truth. Grandmaster J was the one who brought us the 7 sevens of 4. So just to put the caveat, because it'd be unfair of me just to hide my light under a bushel. Obviously, I told you about the Grandmaster J one, the revelation that was given to me, and just see, you got the 3 wise men on the left there. Or you're right. I was just gonna quickly throw something up so you can see what it is that got me. This is what got me. The book of the generations of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Who was David's son? Who was Abraham's son? Is there a link? It says the generation of Jesus Christ. Abraham begot Isaac, Isaac begot blah 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 blah, and Jesse begat David, the king. Solomon, blah blah, begat, all the way till you get to Matthew 1 and 17, where it says, so all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations. And from David until the carrying away unto Babylon are 14 generations. And from the carrying away unto Babylon unto Christ are 14 generations. Matthew 1 and 17, that's the one that done it. That's the one that's done it for me. And if you can't see deeper than that, what is it? It's the book of the generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Mind blown. Take it easy. Be careful out there now.